Hello everyone and welcome to the Pip and Pin Podcast. My name is Maema Nodecker. I'm a knitwear designer from Abbotsford, British Columbia, Canada. Today is December 18th and this is episode 85. I was gonna podcast last week. I've been kind of getting into my, twice a week rhythm, but I ended up with strep throat, so I couldn't really talk without being in a lot of pain. So I decided to just hold off until this week. So here we are. And with that, I do have quite a few finished objects, which I wouldn't have been able to show you last week. And one of them is going away. So I'm very excited that I get to share that one with you. Why don't we do that first, actually, because it's sitting right here and I'm looking at it and it's so cute. So my first finished object of this week is the Gramps cardigan. This teeny tiny little baby cardigan. This is a pattern by Tin Can Knits. It's something that I've made at least 5 or 6 times. I knit this for Georgia so many times. As she grew out of one, I would knit her another one, and it just kept going and going and going. I don't think she has one right now, actually. But for a very long time, most of her life, she has had a Gramps cardigan. This one is not for her, obviously. It is actually for her teacher. She is going on maternity leave after Christmas, so I thought it would be nice to make her a little something as a Christmas gift for her baby. I just used scrap yarns for this. This is a worsted, I think it's written as a worsted weight sweater, but I kind of always knit it in DK. And these are all just DK scraps. I just use the same needles and same size. I did do the second size. That I have knit I did knit the newborn size, and it is just a little bit smaller than this, but I don't know, I always found, especially when you have a brand new baby, everything that you are given is given in the smallest size, which in our case really worked out because Georgia was teensy tiny. So we got to use that for a very long period of time. But I know that all of a sudden, once you start getting into the 6 months or even the 3 months, all those gifts that you got, you never really got to use because you just got so many. So I decided to make it one size bigger. I think this is the 6 to 12 size or 6 to 9. Plus, I mean, big oversized cardigans are fun for babies as well. I just used some buttons that I have bought years ago in like a crazy multi-pack from Walmart, and I think I'll probably have these buttons until the day I die. I put them on so many things, and I still have so many. They're just dark gray plastic buttons. They go great on everything. And yeah, I'm really excited to give that to her. So we'll probably package that up today, and Georgia can take it to school with her this week because she has 1 more week of school and then she's off for winter break, and so am I, so that's nice. The other thing that I finished, I'm actually wearing. So this is the Maema DK, and I am gonna stand up this time for you and show it in all its glory. I'll even stand back here. So this is the Maema DK. It's an oversized cardigan based on my most popular pattern, the Maema cardigan. It has a wide garter stitch collar that you can't really see because of my hair, but it does kind of bunch up at the neckline here. I made lots of alterations to this as I've been working through it. Originally it had, if you watched past episodes you would know this, but originally it had more of a shawl collar that had short rows, and it was ribbed, and it was just kind of more structured. It also had long sleeves that kind of ballooned out and were cinched in at the wrist, but when I was wearing it, it ended at exactly the right or the same spot as the body, and I just didn't like that proportion. I'm gonna sit back down again because now I'm just talking. I didn't really like that proportion, how it looked and just made a straight line across. So I did decide to cut the sleeves about 6 inches and make them more of like a flowy 3/4 length. And that actually is more true to the original Maema cardigan as well. Yeah, everything was just feeling a little stiff, a little too structured. So I decided to change the collar, change the sleeves, and now I love it. It kind of makes me feel like a middle school art teacher, which I really love. And I can see myself wearing this a ton. I mean, I still wear my original Maema, like the fingering weight one, constantly. It's definitely one of my most worn sweaters, especially in the spring and the fall. And I feel like I'm gonna get a lot of wear out of this one as well. I really want a dark one too. I want something, yeah, maybe in, I don't know, black or dark gray or something. But I really love this orange. This is a color that I've been in love with since I first saw it many, many years ago. And it's one of those things that I've always thought about, but never actually bought until 2 years ago. I think at Knit City I bought it, which was a good thing because she wasn't actually there at Knit City this year. This is from Flock Fiber, and this is her Fireside DK in Spiced Pecans. Yeah, just one of those colors that I've thought about for years and then never pulled the trigger on for whatever reason, and it was just waiting. It was just waiting to become this cardigan. So I will be probably starting the test knit for this before the pattern comes out. So that will probably start in sometime in January. So if you have any interest in being a test knitter, I will put a link down in the description box. I actually started an email list specifically for test knitting. So I will just only send out emails when I have a new test knit available. Just an easy way to contact anybody. So if you haven't signed up for it already and you are interested in test knitting, you can sign up for it down below there. Basically, when I do my test knits, I just am looking for general feedback. I'd like you to, you know, maybe post some photos on Ravelry and make a project page, but that's kind of my only rule. And, you know, finish it if at all possible, but life happens as well. So there's no crazy rules or, you know, anything like that. If you need more time, you need more time. It's not a big deal. I kind of just run it as like a fun knit along in my Ravelry group for a select, you know, whoever signs up for the test, really. Generally, depending on how many people I get, I try to accept as many people as I can, but I don't really like letting the group get too big because then it's a lot to keep on top of. Usually 2 to 3 people per size. And yeah, basically it's just to go through the pattern. I have it tech edited before I send it out to testers, and then yeah, I'm just wanting people to knit through it and tell me if they come across any issues. That's about it. Anyway, so yeah, if you've never been a test knitter before and want to know more about the experience, you can always email me too. And yeah, if you're interested in finding out when I do my test knits, you can sign up for the email list down below. Yeah, so that's Maema. I'm very, very happy with this one. And I'm, you know, over the past couple months, like this one has been done for quite some time, but I just never felt like it was the right thing. You know, the collar was wrong, the length was wrong, the sleeves were wrong, everything, just nothing was really working out the way I had originally envisioned in my head. Like I did have a clear vision of what it was going to be, and it did match the vision in my head, but I just didn't like it. So I wanted to change it, and I'm so happy that I did take the time to go back and change the things that I didn't like, because now I love it. Whereas I was, it was okay before, but now I love it, and it's something that I'm gonna wear all the time. Yeah. So if you ever have those things, maybe not right when you finish something, because you're very close to things when you first finish them, but if there's something that every time you put on a hand knit sweater and you think, oh, I just, you're tugging down the hem or something, and you think, I just need to add an inch or two to the body, or I just need to pull up these sleeves a little bit, or re-knit the whole sleeve. Like maybe the sleeves are too big and you need them to be a little loose, or a little tighter, or vice versa. Making those changes is worth it, because I have many sweaters and many things, not really anymore, but I did have lots of things that I liked. I would put on in the morning, finish getting ready, and then take off and put something else on. So I would immediately change out of it because and it's those little things, those little tiny things I find that make a really big difference. And a lot of the time it doesn't take that much time or effort to fix them. Adding length to a hem is usually an evening or two. You can just cut the bottom hem off and add some length, and sometimes it's more involved depending on the pattern that you're working or how it's constructed, for sure. There are I'm not saying everything is going to be easy and simple, but when you're spending 80 hours plus knitting a sweater, is an extra 5 hours, an extra 5 hours to make it something that you are going to reach for and you are going to put on again and again and again. To me, it's worth it. Some people are process knitters, and that's totally fine. I know lots of people that just knit because they love knitting, and the end product is not what it's about for them. It's about the act of knitting, and that's fine. I'm not one of those people. I'm a product knitter, so I am driven by the end product, and I really want to love the end product. So in my mind, putting in that extra couple hours to really fine tune everything at the end is 100% worth it. Anyways, that's my tangent for for that. I do have more knitting to share, actually. A couple of things. One of the things that I've been working on instead of socks, because I realized that I have way too many socks that I just don't need anymore. I have so many hand knit socks. So I've been looking for projects that are like hand knit socks, portable, stockinette, just something to keep my hands busy during the day, or watching a movie, or, things like that. And one of the things that I've been working on this month is little Christmas pouches. So I did finish one of them, and I'm almost finished another one. But this is the Parlor Trick pouch. It is a little pattern that I designed. Specifically, I designed it for my tarot cards, but then I also added sizes for like playing cards, or card game decks, things like that, like Magic or Pokemon. So there's lots of different size options there. These are with fingering weight yarn, and for these ones I didn't actually use any of my numbers. I just used the basic instructions and just kind of made up my own numbers, because my idea for this was to create a couple of just little gift bags that I can reuse over the years, so the sizing of them doesn't really matter, and I wanted a few different size options as well. So this one is about true to the original size. I just used some, I can't remember what it's called, and I didn't write it down, and I don't have the ball band. But it is a Christmas self-patterning sock yarn that has some stellina in it, so it is all sparkly. And then it just has a casing kind of up at the top. I made some twisted, twiny kind of rope for the ties. And yeah, put the gifts in there, cinch them up. This is the second one that's just about done. And as you can see, it's smaller. It uses the same yarn, just a different I use knit picks for these two in red and green. So all I have to do for this one is just fold this in and whip stitch it down and then add the ties, and that one will be done as well. And then I just have a whole bag of like, I have a little bit more of this stuff left. I have a couple of knit picks. I have some of this stuff. So I don't know, I will probably start making another one, and then that will be it for the year. You know, this is kind of just my fun December whatever project. So I'll probably do one more and then be done with it for a bit. But I thought those were, yeah, just super fun and a nice way to make little reusable gift bags with yarn that was intended for socks, but I really don't need any more socks. And then the last thing that I've been working on a lot. I don't remember. Oh, I think I had just done a little bit of this the last time you saw it because I ran into quite a few roadblocks when I was starting it. But this is the progress that I've made on the cable cardigan that I'm designing. And sorry, there is probably cat hair all over it because it's cold now. So my cat just lives on my lap at all times when I'm at home. But anyways, this is the start of the cable cardigan that I am designing. So it's a drop shoulder and it has these two cable panels that go along the side. It's going to be quite oversized in the body. The sleeves are going to be a little bit more fitted. And then you can see, can you see? I don't know. I just finished the increases for the, like the front bands here. So that is it so far. And then it also on the back has the same cables kind of running down either side. And this yarn is Fiddly Dye Works worsted in the colorway Goose, which is this gorgeous like gray brown, dark gray brown. And I really love it. It's very warm. Yeah, it's like an ultra warm charcoal gray or a really gray brown. It's just lovely. And I haven't, you know, after my initial problems, which I don't even really remember about anymore, once I got those sorted, it's been pretty smooth sailing. I wrote out the first bit of the pattern, which is always the hardest part, is especially when you're working top-down patterns, the hardest part of the design is getting started because you kind of have to figure everything out first, and then like you kind of have to work backwards and then go forwards. So once I did that, now it's pretty smooth sailing. Now I just have to knit until I feel like the body is the right length, and then do the sleeves and then do the edging. This is always my favorite part in a sweater, whether it's a sweater that I'm designing or whether it's a sweater that I'm making of someone else's design. But this right here, I mean, when I put this little vest thing on, I can see what it's supposed to look like. You know, I can see exactly what it's supposed to be doing, and that gets me really excited. As it gets closer to the end, that's when I start to get kind of annoyed with it because there are things that I want to fix and change, and or if something like isn't quite working out, then I get kind of annoyed. But this is my favorite. This is the most exciting part to me. It's cast on, you can try it on, you can see kind of what it's doing. I just love it. I just love it so much. So after every night, I kind of, you know, I maybe knit for an hour or two before bed while I'm watching a show or something. Even if I only put an inch and a half on the body, because right now it is taking some time to get through. But I'll try it on. I'll do my little, you know, posing in the mirror to see how it's turning out, and it's just, yeah, just my favorite point in any garment that I'm knitting, especially top down, because top down is so fun because you can try it on as you go like that. So that's probably going to be, I mean, after this week, I'm going to take 2 weeks off. So probably by the time I come back, hopefully, that will be nearly done. Because that's pretty much all I'm going to be knitting on. Except I did actually just buy some yarn. I got some Briggs & Little Sport from Bad Anna's in Vancouver. It's headed out in the mail to me now. I just ordered it last night. And I'm going to knit my husband another Henley. A few years ago, I knit him a sweater based on the pattern Field Henley. I can't remember who it's by, but I will put the pattern down below. But basically, it is a fingering weight Henley sweater, and he loved it. Like he still loves it. He wore it every single day for about 3 years. That was his go-to sweater. Over time, it has stretched out, especially because the yarn is it's just not super structured, which is fine. Like it just happens over time. The sweater really it's just the shape that it's going to be now, and it kind of got wider and a little shorter. And now, he still really likes the sweater, but now it's more of a work sweater kind of, instead of that was his going out sweater. He would put that on, he would feel really good about himself, and he would, go out in the sweater. Now it's more of a work sweater to stay warm, which is great. I mean, that's the cycle of clothing, and I love it. But he has requested, another going out sweater, which I'm happy to oblige, except I told him I remember knitting that sweater and there was something with the yarn and the size needles that I had to use. It rolled a lot and it was just really difficult on my hands. It was not an easy sweater for me to knit. So I told him, I can knit him another one, but I can't use the same yarn because something about it just did not work. Well, a few months ago, he actually was at a thrift store and he found a little tabletop knitting machine, just like a vintage one. Now, I have a big knitting machine. I've actually never set it up before. I've had it for years. I've never set it up before. I've never used it. The pieces are kind of scattered in places. But I just had never had the opportunity to set it up and use it. So he calls me from the thrift store and he's like, hey, I found this little one. And it has its own little case. It's probably about this long and about this wide and only, this tall. So it slides right under our couch. It's all manual. The other one I have has assisted things, and it has the punch cards where you can do all sorts of fancy things. This one is very bare bones. You can shook your knitting. That's it. So when he first got it, I did make him a couple of hats to figure it out, and it seemed simple enough to use. Everything worked really well. So I told him that I would make him a sweater on the knitting machine. So that is my plan. I've never done it before, and I'm excited to give it a try and see how it goes and how quickly it goes, because I've always wanted, we do go out a lot in the fall and the winter, and having a nice lightweight layer would be amazing. I don't really have one that I love. I have hand knit sweaters that I use specifically when we are going out for campfires and adventures and things like that. But I would really love just a lightweight something like that as well. And if I could figure out how to make it on a knitting machine and not have it take 3 months and not have it destroy my hands in the process, that would be amazing. Yeah, so I do have that I'll probably be working on over the next couple weeks as well. As soon as I get the yarn, I'll do up some swatches, and yeah, maybe I'll take some video as well to show you how the knitting machine works. I have to, I mean, really all I've made on the knitting machine is hats, so I'm gonna have to figure out how to do increases and decreases. So that will be fun. If anyone has any resources for like super beginner knitting machine users, I would be really interested to hear about that, or if you have any advice. I don't have a ribber for it or anything, so I'm really just going to be doing the stockinette parts, and then I'm going to be doing all of the ribbing and like the edging, the cuffs and the hem and the collar. All of that I'm going to be doing by hand, so I'm not too worried about any of that stuff. But yeah, really just the shaping I think is what I'm going to need. Oh, and I need weights. I know I need weights for it too, because I don't have any of those. But that can all be figured out as we go. It will be an experiment. Yeah, so that's kind of it for this week. I do have one kind of big announcement. If you are not signed up for our newsletter, just our regular newsletter, I would suggest going and doing that. You can just sign up at pipandpin.ca. Usually a little pop-up comes up that prompts you to sign up for the newsletter, or you can scroll down to the bottom of the page. There's a place to sign up on the home page there as well. But later this week, probably on Wednesday, I will be sending out an email because I am going to be having a really big holiday sale, and I'm not sure if I'm going to be posting it on Instagram or not. I might be posting part of it on Instagram, but I mean, like, this is going to be up until the end of the year. There's going to be everything in the shop on sale, as well as patterns. So I think I'm going to share the pattern sale portion of it on Instagram, but everything in the shop is going to go on sale as well. And that is just going to be for newsletter subscribers. So if you are interested in anything that I have for sale on the website and want to get it at a really great discount, you should sign up for the newsletter. Yeah, I just want to make some space for some new things on the website. I have some kind of crazy ideas for the new year. I'm not quite ready to share about them yet, but yeah, I do have some things that I'm working on for the new year. So I always kind of like to start January off fresh. So we are having a sale to get ready for that. Also, if you have been participating or not participating yet, but if you want to participate in the Indie Design Gift Along on Ravelry or the Fasten Off Yarn Along off Ravelry, those are both running until the end of December. And I will make sure I put a link to those two knit alongs down below as well. All of my paid for patterns are eligible for both of those, so you can double dip in them. Any one of my paid for patterns is eligible for prizes. Yeah, so I'll make sure I have to put that information down below. I will not be back until after the holidays, so I am going to take a little bit of a break. I'll be back in January. So Merry Christmas to everyone who celebrates it, and Happy Holidays. Whatever you're doing, I hope you have a wonderful time, and we'll see you in the new year. Bye.